everything real, 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 yeah, foreign car.
What's up, man? This Mr. Dinero the Shooter checking in, aka if you want your shots hot, book Mr. Money Shot. And today, man, I'm coming to you all from the lab, aka KJ's shelter. This is where we get it in at, man. This is where all bad ideas are created, man. Shouts out to my bros from Bad Idea, KJ, Rodney, and Trent. And in today's tutorial, I'll basically be giving you all a breakdown of how I get my photos to look how they look and the different types of equipment I use, as well as the settings on the camera. To start off with, I shoot with a Canon EOS Rebel T6i, and right now I'm recording myself with the 18 to 55mm kit lens. It is a good lens and it has a low aperture of 3.5. And man, like basically like it's different types of modes on the camera, but I like to shoot in manual mode, nothing but manual mode. I started shooting in manual mode because one day my graphic design teacher, Mr. Arrington, shouts out to Mr. A, by the way, he seen me playing with my camera and he was like, "Do you do photography?" I was like, "Yes sir, I do." And then he was like, "What mode are you shooting in?" And at the time, since I had just got my camera in February, this was like March, so it's like I'm steady playing with the camera. So at the time, I'm in the creative mode of portrait mode. So he's like, "Why are you shooting in portrait mode?" I was like, "Because like I'm still learning how to, you know, maneuver over to manual mode." He was like, "Shoot in manual mode." I was like, "Mr. Anderson, I don't think I can shoot in manual mode." He was like, "Shoot in manual mode." So I started shooting in manual mode, and now I'm in love with manual mode. All of the other creative modes, they're alright, but I just like to control everything on my own, as well as my settings on my flash head. But man, in the manual mode, you have your exposure triangle, which consists of the shutter, the aperture, and the ISO. The shutter speed allows the amount of light to hit the image sensor that's inside of your camera behind your shutters. And also, the aperture deals with the amount of light that is allowed to come inside of the camera. And basically, a low aperture number also resides in a low depth of field. So basically, it's like the lower the aperture number is, the more light comes in, and the lower the depth of field. The bigger the aperture number is, the less light comes in, the bigger the depth of field. And last but not least, you have your ISO, which is the sensitivity to light. Normally, like when you shoot outside in a bright daylight, you don't want to go over 100 ISO. And basically, if you like at a concert or something like that, and you're trying to do like low light portraits, do not go over 800, because it's like once you get over 800, noise is created within your photos and you'll be able to see them. But once you take your photos through Lightroom, you can bring down your noise reduction. But enough about that, man. Starting out with photography, man, I had been using my kit lens for a while, which is the 18 to 55mm lens. But around May is when I got my first major lens. And by the way, man, if you're doing photography, get you a portrait lens. The best portrait lens to use is the 50mm lens, which has a aperture of 1.8, and it'll give you that low depth of field that you want, aka the Nifty 50. That's the nickname for it. But anyway, man, the 50mm lens, like, it gives you that low depth of field that you want behind your subject or your pictures, and it keeps your pictures, like, it keeps your subject in sharp focus. So therefore, it's like, you know, with the 50, it goes down to an aperture of 1.8, but don't go that low with your aperture. A lot of people don't know that, but like, okay, just because it has a 1.8 aperture and you want that low depth of field, once again, the depth of field is the blurriness behind your subject. Just because you want that, don't go all the way down to 1.8, because what that does is, once you take your picture of your subject using a 1.8 aperture, look on your image, look on your image sensor and look at your picture, and just look at, you know, how your subject looks. Look at that. Look at the edges of your subject, and you're gonna see that they're cut, but they're cut because your aperture is low as it can go, which can result in a bad thing. So I want to give you this tip. This is the sauce that just like for you to just take in, so you'll know. Shoot around 2.5 on your aperture, because it's still gonna give you that low depth of field that you want, but it's gonna have your subject's edges in sharp focus. And it's like, man, the 50mm lens, it's a good lens, and you know, you can get them out of Best Buy, or you can order them off Amazon. They run about the same price, which is $125, but plus tax is $133. So yeah, man, make sure you go copy you a 50mm lens if you don't get any other lens, because they are like nice portrait lenses for you, you know, to have that depth of field and stuff that you want in the background. But enough for the 50. I'm going to give you guys the real sauce. The real sauce is the 24mm pancake lens. This has an aperture of 2.8. It gives me a good depth of field in the background, but it's a macro lens. Like you can probably see that the little macro lens right here. It is an awesome camera, bro. It gives me good photos, and it's like when I'm at concerts or anything like that, I normally tend to use my 24mm lens because it has a wider focal length for me to catch all of the subjects. The 50mm on the other hand, it just has that like a narrow focal length, but like it's a portrait lens, so it has a narrow focal length to just focus on the waist and up. So it's like I like my 50, but like concert photography, if you check out my Instagram, like all of those photos that you have seen, majority of them come from this 24mm lens. I just got my 24mm lens like in the middle of August. I ordered it off of Amazon, and it was approximately like $140, I would say. And Best Buy they do not carry them in stores. Well, some of them do, but where I'm from, like I would have had to drive like 2 hours to go get it. So I just chose to order it offline, and I waited patiently for it. It took like 3 to 4 days to come in, but it's definitely worth $140 because with this macro lens, you can shoot up very close on subjects, and like I said, like with concert photography, it's very helpful and things like that. So you can stand close to a subject, but you're gonna have like a wider focal length, so it's like you don't have to keep backing up to get everybody in the frame. You can just get everybody in the frame with just this 24mm lens. But man, like I said, you know, it's a good lens. It's very helpful to use, and like this is another lens that you should look at getting. But those are like my main lenses that I use besides my 18 to 55mm lens that I'm recording myself with right now. And next up, man, I'm gonna talk about the external flash head, man. Yes, sir. Every time, like when I shoot at concerts and stuff like that, 9 times out of 10 it's a little dark in there, but you have some light. But what I tend to do is I use my external flash head. I put it at the top of my camera on my hot shoe, and I'll screw it right here to where it says lock, and I'll screw it to the left. And what that does is it coincides with my camera. Like when I shoot with my camera, it makes the flash go off. So what I tend to normally do, like, it starts like this. Some people shoot like this, but in my eyes, this is a no-no, because like it's gonna be too much direct light coming to the subject, and it's gonna have like hot spots all over the subject. So what I do is I lift my flash head all the way up as far as it can go, and at the top it's a card, and you pull out that card, and boom, it flips, and it's a card that comes out at the top. It's a white card, so that way when your flash goes off, it's gonna bounce up and shoo, and the light is just going to spread towards the subject, giving the subject that soft glow of light on his face and everything else. And yeah, man, it's just what the lighting is going to look like. And basically, you know, I use 1/8 of a second on my flash head, or 1/16 of a second. It normally depends on like how the lighting is set up, but those are the main two that I use. But the settings on my camera, I can't give those to you all, because you all have to learn, you know, how to use your camera, and like just go with what settings like best fit you, because everyone has different settings that they use. But my settings that I use for my camera are just like the settings that I use, you know. But one thing that I will tell you all, you know, is to never stop trying, never give up, stay positive, and keep learning, because there's always something new to learn that's going to improve your knowledge, let alone your skills with the camera. And basically, yeah, man, just like don't never compare your work to anyone else's work either, because at the end of the day, everyone has their own style of shooting, whether it's photography, pictures, or music videos, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, man, just stay true to you, keep doing what you're doing, stay in your lane, and just, you know, just keep doing your work, because like at the end of the day, everyone's work is different. Never compare yourself to anyone else, because that's what's going to take the fun out of your work, and it's going to cause you not to want to do it. So just stay positive and keep learning. And also, man, if you do not follow me on Twitter and Instagram at dinerotheshoota. Dinerotheshoota, man, and just keep up with me. You know, message me if you have any questions about your camera equipment, and I'll be glad to respond to you and answer your questions. But just, you know, just keep up with my latest work, and just see the different pictures that I take of all the rappers and different celebrities and stuff like that, man. But Oh yeah, and shouts out to Prosper Clothing Line, CEO Willie G. Hefner. At the end of the video, I have the Bad Idea link at the bottom of my video, as well as the Prosper link at the bottom of my video, so you guys can go pick whichever clothing you want. Both of them are good clothing lines. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, man, Dinero the Shootout.